we will definitely be looking at what is happening in Rivers State, where the president has declared a state of emergency on the state. Now, just to intimate you on what has been happening since last night, Nigeria's political landscape, as we know, is actually on a high alert as President Bola Tinubu has declared a state of emergency in Rivers State, suspending Governor Siminalayi Fubara and others for 6 months. Now, the move has actually sparked intense debate and raised questions about the limits of executive power. Now, right now, we have our correspondent who is live at the National Assembly, where lawmakers actually gathered earlier for an emergency plenary session. And we have Sagir Ibrahim, who is at the National Assembly right now, to give us an update of what happened during plenary today. Hello, Sagir. Thank you for joining us. Over to you.
Pleasure being on the program. Okay, so interestingly, the political space was thrown into some sort of a controversial moment following yesterday's declaration by the president declaring, of course, a state of emergency in Rivers State. The expectation was that the president would send a gazetted copy of this declaration, section 305, particularly of the 1999 Constitution, to the Senate and also the House of Representatives for approval. Interestingly, when we cited the order paper today, I have a copy of the order paper right now in my hands. It was supposed to be the first order of the day under motions. But when they were done with the presentation of bills, the Senate Majority Leader, Opeyemi Bamidele, had moved a motion praying the Senate President to step down this motion, particularly that on the proclamation of the state of emergency in Rivers State, to be discussed by 3 p.m. Of course, as you know, the media houses did their job. They broke the news with the expectation that this would be discussed by 3 p.m. Only for, again, around 2:15 or thereabouts, after they are deliberated on a couple of other items on the order paper, that they adjourn plenary to the next legislative day so that they can exhaust other items on the order paper. So as it is, unfortunately, the Senate did not sit or deliberate on anything pertaining to the proclamation of the state of emergency in Rivers State. I mean, it was a shock to a lot of us because we waited with bated breath and expected, that the proclamation would be approved by the Senate today. But interestingly, the Senate did not sit on it. No discussion was made on it. And we can only wait till tomorrow to see if the issue would be raised again and approval made by the Senate.
Sagir, if you did say that, the Senate did not make any proclamation about or did not even talk about it at all during the sit-in, which, we know that this particular topic is something that's very, 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 very sensitive at the moment. Could it be, I'm actually eager to know, could it be that the National Assembly played a part in the lead-up to the declaration?
Well, there were speculations that happened. Remember, I cited a statement, speculative statement, of course, saying that the leadership of the National Assembly were aware that the president was going to make that proclamation. But then, I've not seen any confirmation to that effect. But what we know is the House of Representatives was also supposed to grant approval to the proclamation of the state of emergency. But interestingly, even during plenary at the House, the same issue was not raised. In our case, it was even stepped down to be discussed by 3 p.m. and subsequently adjournment came. But I heard that at the House of Representatives plenary today, it wasn't raised at all. So this sort of gives you an idea of the dynamics that is playing out. And in situations like this, one can only wait to see, what is going to happen. Since they've adjourned plenary to the next legislative day, being Thursday tomorrow, we can only wait to see whether the items would be once again brought on the order paper and if they will deliberate upon it.
You talked about us, waiting to see what could happen. What is likely to happen, Sagir?
Okay, so the expectation is, following the proclamation of the state of emergency by the president of Nigeria, he is expected to forward a gazetted copy of section 305, which grants him the powers to do so, to the House of Representatives and also the Senate. Now, the two houses are then expected to grant him approval to carry out that proclamation. So the expectation was that the president of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives would grant that approval to him. But unfortunately, we've not seen that. However, we understand that there's about some 48 hours, that is allowed for that approval to be given. So even if the approval did not come today, tomorrow is still another day that the approval can be given. Hence the reason why I say we can only wait to see what happens tomorrow, if the proclamation and the approval of the proclamation would feature on the other papers again, and if deliberations would be made upon it, whether approval will be given or not.
Absolutely, Sagir. Then we will definitely have to wait till tomorrow and see what happens. And we will be connecting with you to give us an update on this as well. Thank you so much.